we've got to talk about the latest Pump.fun clone on Pulse Chain. It's called Pump.tires. Richard Hart just announced it 3 days ago. Was he the creator of it? We don't know. Maybe his developers were, maybe some closely associated devs. There's some hot new meme coins that have already done thousands of X's, and it spurred off this whole frenzy of people aping in different Pulse Chain meme coins. Now, if you're watching and you're not already in Pulse Chain, maybe you're on Solana, maybe you're on Base or Ethereum, come check this out. You might like it. And I'm going to explain to you that there's a bigger picture here. I'm going to explain it all very short and concise so you get what's really going on, the high-level overview of why does this exist, and also you don't have to use it. Alright, so I see a lot of people that are very emotional right now. They don't know what to think. Okay, I'm just going to tell you, it's going to be okay. And this benefits the greater good of, the Pulse Chain coin itself, even PulseX, the whole ecosystem, and the rising tide will lift all ships. So if we see some more capital flowing in to Pulse Chain, it's probably going to be because people just like to degenerate gamble. That is the retail use case of crypto, is degenerate gambling. And that was proven by Pump.fun, which launched about a year ago, gained popularity about 6 months ago. So Richard's probably been observing this and seeing how many fees were accrued into Pump.fun and decided to make his own. But the reason that it's got the mark of Richard on it, the reason that it's got the signature Richard move is that all of the fees, you pay a 1% fee for everything you buy on Pump.tires. And those fees all get burnt. They don't go to anybody. Nobody profits. No central developer profits from this platform. It's a fee-burning mechanism, which means if people come in and they lose money in Pump.tires, at least they lost and they burned some of their PLS, and then they got to go buy back in if they want to keep gambling at the casino. Now look at this is pulsecoinlist.com. We've got a new category here. If you click on this button at pulsecoinlist.com, this is called RH memes. And prices are still up today. Prices are up like 9% on PLS. Look at these three memes, guys. We're going to talk about these memes specifically. Most, Pump, and Trump. We're going to talk about what is going on with these, why everyone's talking about them. Is it a good time to buy? I don't know. I bought some Most token early on 3 days ago. I tweeted about it. If you're following me, you would have known. And I'm taking some profit. Is it going to keep pumping? I don't know. Am I done buying it? Yeah, probably. But there might be a dip that you'd want to buy. I'm not here to tell you whether or not to buy these meme coins. All right, that's totally up to you. I'm telling you what I did. And I don't really plan on, buying a whole lot more of these. Just like I don't personally plan on using Pump.tires. This is Pump.tires, by the way. Just looks like Pump.fun, right? All these little meme coins. People can make any JPEG they want. They just, a little picture. They try to be funny. And people just add a description. And, you try to get up to 200 million people, pulse worth of people, to join the liquidity pool. And then they graduate to PulseX. PulseX is the primary decentralized exchange. Like this one here, right? So shout out to Pulse Coin List for listing these. Why do these three memes matter? A lot of people are speculating, and you can't prove this, but it seems likely to me. It honestly seems pretty likely to me, right? That these three memes were actually created by either Richard Hart or a closely associated Richard Hart developer. So people are calling them, these are Richard Hart's meme coins. They're outraged, right? People can't believe this guy made a meme coin. After all this time, people don't know how to feel about it. Look, you gotta let it happen. The thing about Pulse Chain people and Hexicans is that they're adaptable, they're resilient, they can roll with the punches, but if you don't understand what's going on here, there's also a greater good, kind of a master plan. I'm going to expose that very quickly. Most, Pump, and Trump. And personally, I'm a little wary of Trump. We already have a Trump coin, but you got to admit, Trump is a very memeable, he's the most memeable person on planet Earth right now, and Elon Musk is number 2. And of course, there's a Musk token as well. So we can go to Morales.com. Shout out to Ivan on Tech for listing Most token. We can just see the price over the last 3 days. Parabolic. Ever since launch, guys. Check out the background there, guys. You like the Easter egg too? Ivan on Tech. He's been a quiet supporter of Richard Hart. And so he's very entertained by what's going on. And let's just see, right? This is a rough ballpark from early on the first day. If you got in early, you'd be up like 43x. And even earlier, right? If we go down here, you get into the thousands of X's. 3,000x if you bought in like the first couple hours. It's insane. It is insane. And so these things start off with low liquidity and not a lot of holders. And it's like the Big Bang, right? First there was nothing, and then out of nowhere there was a coin, and then the Big Bang explosion happens, and you go from like 10 holders to 100 holders to 1,000 holders. And that's what creates these massive, green candles when coins graduate from Pump.tires. Same exact dynamic as Pump.fun, except for one critical thing about the fees, which I'm going to explain. But look, the core coins are holding up pretty well. People did sell off a little bit, but right, like these prices are the same that they've been for the past couple of days. Look at the past few days. Prices have been basically flatlining, stabilized. So we're at the same price we were 2 weeks ago. And now some people are blaming, oh, well, the price isn't pumping because of Pump.tires. And to those people, I say, you need to realize that there's geopolitical stuff going on. You need to realize it's not giving people what they want that's the problem. It's not onboarding enough new capital, right? So what's happened in Pulse Chain with Pump.tires is basically just everybody is getting shaken out of if it's not their core coins, it's their meme coins, right? We've seen a lot of meme coins get the liquidity sucked out of them to go chase coins like most. They're pumping a lot and they're chasing all these meme coins, but it doesn't ultimately hurt the price of the core tokens. And why is that? It's because the only thing that matters, and I see people get this wrong a lot, right? Some people worry about this. Now, shout out to Storyteller. He's just observing, right? He's just telling a story here. But then some other people look at this and they have a negative reaction because he's pointing out the fact that a giant hex whale has sold 28 million hex and is aping into most. So look, crime season. Shout out to Martin, Storyteller17 on Twitter. People see this and they freak out and they say, oh no, everyone's dumping their hex. But look, if you dump your hex for most token, like we have here on the PulseX, we can open up the router and see that when you trade your hex for most token, you're going first into the Pulse liquidity pool, and then you're swapping that Pulse for most. So never in this route do you ever touch the US dollar price. So we need to all take a deep breath, don't stress, and realize that a lot of people chasing these meme coins, they're just redistributing the liquidity pools as long as they don't sell the underlying tokens. And by the way, this whole entire ecosystem is only backed by, 12 million, 13, 36, maybe 50 or 60 million dollars of stablecoins. Maybe 70, 80 million if you count the Ethereum too. These stablecoins in Ethereum, because you take half of this, right? You take half of the liquidity, which is the buy side. The entire ecosystem is only being propped up by like $60 million of stablecoins, which is bullish because that means it doesn't take that much inflowing capital. And who knows, maybe Pump.tires will be that catalyst. Again, if you're on Solana, stop getting wrecked. Pulse Chain works. The transactions don't get frozen. There's actually more real people to interact with. And you're playing in a smaller ocean where you're not just getting scammed by cabal after cabal. Now, I'm not saying that's not happening here, right? You've got cabals and scammers and people are scheming right now and coming up with plans about how to take your money and how to invent a good story to convince you to buy their Pump.tires coin, okay? But so far, the prices have really just been going sideways. Look, we've had a potential trade war fear, and so the fact that, geopolitically, there's instability and a lot of fear, the fact that Pulse Chain's still holding up, I think says a lot. Pulse Chain's still the same price it was 2 weeks ago. Ethereum dumped like 20%. It wicked down to $2,100. In fact, Pulse Chain's actually up relative to Ethereum in the past couple of days. Now here's the really interesting thing about this, okay? Look at Pump.fun. Look what happened in Pump.fun. The total revenue from everybody trading in Pump.fun, right? Remember, 1% of every transaction when you buy a coin on Pump.tires, when you buy one of these memes, all right? One of these JPEGs. 1% of that goes to somebody, and in Pump.fun case, it's a single developer, some super rich guy that's raked in $520 million off of you degenerate gamblers out there are just giving this guy all your money. So wouldn't it be nice if you didn't give this guy all your money, who then dumps down the Solana price, right? This guy got $520 million in the form of Sol, okay, in the form of Solana revenue. So he's generated, 2.7 million Solana. And this guy loves to dump the price of Solana, and Solana still pumped, 4 or 5x recently? Even when you had this mega turbo dumper, the actual founder of Pump.fun, he's getting the revenue in Solana and he's crushing the price by dumping it. He doesn't care. So people are realizing, look, if retail really just wants to waste their money away, if retail just wants to gamble all day long, why not give them a place to do it efficiently? But now what if this money didn't get sold on the open market? What if all this Solana what if it was Pulse? And what if it got burned instead? So we got look into Pump.tires. Shout out to Gerardo on Twitter. Also the creator of Mintra NFT Marketplace. This guy makes awesome websites. This is a statistics website to show you guys in the past 3 days. It's only been 3 days. All right, let me stress that again. In 3 days, an average of 1.52 billion pulse per day has been burned. Total of almost $400,000. At this rate, that's $28 million of pulse that'll be burned every year. And if people keep buying in and buying pulse, you've got all kinds of methods to buy pulse. Check out my description below. You got Change Now, GainPulseChain.com. You've got PulseLN.com. You've got bridge.pulsechain.com. There's all these different ways to get your money into PulseChain. There's like 5 or 6 different on-ramps, at least. And so when new people coming in seeing this are gambling on memes, remember, you don't have to, right? Don't get triggered. Just because other people are doing it doesn't mean you have to. In fact, I'm not touching almost any of these. The only biggest one I've touched so far is Most token. Oh, and a little bit of Pump as well. I did buy a little bit of the Pump token, which was another one of the first original creations. We'll get to that in a minute. Think about all this Pulse being burned. Think about the capital that could come in if this gets marketed. And once the greater crypto world finds out about this, they can flock over here where they might enjoy the experience even better than on Solana, where the transactions don't actually fail. You know what I mean? And on top of this too, let's remember that every liquidity pool that graduates from Pump.tires, remember, we can even look into how it works, okay? Every time the liquidity pool basically gets 200 million Pulse, right here, the coins graduate to PulseX when 200 million PLS of bid liquidity has accumulated. Okay, and so an equal number of the coin will then go on to PulseX. And then you're buying and burning PulseX with all the transaction fees over on PulseX. So, you know, the PLSX coin has a buy and burn mechanism attached to it. All the volume going through this DEX here, some tiny fraction of it is going to buying and burning. And so we've had 6.1% of the total circulating supply of PLSX bought and burned automatically just from people trading. So no matter what people do, as long as there's volume. And let's talk about the volume really quick, guys. Look at the stats over here. The on-chain activity. The PulseX volume went from about $25 million daily to over $80 million the last couple of days. The volume is clearly showing a spike. And remember, all that volume is just driving more burn pressure. Buy and burn pressure for Pulse, buy and burn pressure for PulseX. And the only thing that moves the price up, guys, is new money from outside coming in. So I got to remind people, like, it's cool, it's fine. All this money is going to, slosh around in the markets. All these liquidity pools are going to rebalance themselves. Everyone's going to chase the next hot thing, every couple of days. But the long-term holders of the core coins, if this gets enough marketing and if this gets enough adoption and new money, again, new money, fresh capital, that's all that matters. These will slowly rise up. And then the rising tide will lift all ships because anything with the liquidity tied to PLS will also go up. So you can see how this could be a really bullish feedback loop if it's done right and if the rest of the crypto market actually finds out about this. Like, who knows how long it'll take them to find out that Richard Hart actually created a meme coin. It's going to sound, hard to believe at first. But I'm actually going to prove that to you guys right now. Look, this is the Most token. Most token, it's a meme of Richard Hart, right? Most wanted. Interpol red notice. And this was the first meme that not only Richard tweeted about this, he tweeted about this yesterday. But if we want to prove this, we can go see that Most token. If we copy the contract address, go back here and paste it right here. Click on Most token. You can see that this was the very first token launched on the platform by this particular deployer at 36DC0C. So where my mouse is right here, you can see the very first buy. He bought the coin with 195 million Pulse, meaning he owns basically 80% of the supply, which is another total Richard move, right? There's no guarantee this is Richard, but it's a total Richard move to scoop up most of the supply and only leave a very small amount of circulating supply. And look, nobody else was really even able to get more than 5 million coins. I'm actually curious to see where all these guys, these other 5 guys, are they out yet? Who knows, right? It's interesting to look at these guys and see the distribution. Because everybody gets this distribution thing wrong. They want a whole bunch of coins in the hands of a whole bunch of plebs. You don't want that. Because plebs are emotional, paper-handed jeets, okay? You want most of the supply locked up by diamond-handed people. It's like a company, right? You want Tesla to own 80% of the shares because incentives need to align. You want the guy that's got the most coins to be incentivized to keep the coin going up. Same process with hacks. It's the same mental roadblock that a lot of people run into. PulseX, Pulse, hacks, doesn't matter. Fair launch is a joke. I've got other videos about that. But look, we can trace this address back, right? This was the original first deployer. And this guy deployed many meme coins. But the very first one was Most Wanted. And also Trump and Pump, right? So that's why other people are bullish on Trump and Pump. I like Pump as well. Pump has a pretty good distribution, a pretty high supply owned by the deployer. But look, he also made 19 other coins. And a lot of them are about Elon Musk, right? Very memeable human, Trump. And then think about why they would do this. Why would the initial deployer make a whole bunch of coins like ETH, Doge, DAI, XRP, Solana, Bitcoin, Cardano, Tron, even Mars token? It's probably so that you can market these coins to other communities. Remember, outside capital. We need to stop like yelling to each other in an echo chamber, right? That's how any community grows, is by going outside. And so now that you've got, Cardano coin, we can say, hey, look, we've got ADA over on Pulse Chain. It's pumping harder than, Charles Hoskinson's coin. Poor little hater Charles over there now has to watch ADA surpass his ADA and maybe get some of the users from Cardano to realize that there's a chain with more opportunity. It's kind of beautiful, right? And you can do this for any coin. You can go infiltrate the Tron community, the Ripple community. Do whatever you do and realize there's so many people outside of crypto, outside of Pulse Chain. Crypto is a small niche in general, and then Pulse Chain is a niche within a niche. So you go after the other big guys, even Solana especially. Look at Solana, right? Or Doge or Pepe, right? Go market to the Pepe guys and see what they think about the fact that Pepe just did, a 200x over on Pulse Chain, probably higher. Seriously, go check the chart and see how, a lot of the sideways action is treating those other communities. They're probably getting a little tired of not pumping, just like everyone's getting tired of not pumping. When you have some short-term games that get people's attention that pump, they stay in the ecosystem, and this is a sticky product. It's sticky because when people sell, they sell for Pulse. They don't sell for dollars. They don't want to leave. They want to try their hand at the casino again. And people will just sit here all day long. It's kind of mind-blowing. Again, there is a better way. I advocate for long-term holding. I do believe that's the way to do crypto, right? Delay gratification seems to work. But people can't help themselves, and you could do both. Right? You could do 90% core coins, 10% lottery tickets, 95% core, 5% lottery. It's your choice, whatever you want to do. But let's check out Pump.tires. Look, we also had, that's pretty interesting about Pump too. The Pump token also has about 80% of the supply owned by the same address. So I guess that's why people are very bullish on Pump as well. Good thing I got a little bag. I just learned that right now. So you've got this diamond-handed guy that everybody thinks is Richard. And you can go trace this address back, guys, on Etherscan. It ends up being funded by a Railgun wallet, which is a privacy software. So you're never going to be able to prove that this was Richard because it was just funded. The initial Ethereum was seeded from a funding wallet. And that funding wallet got Ethereum from Railgun, which again is privacy, anonymity. So it's not even, you can't try. It's impossible to really track down who this is. But look, it seems pretty obvious to me that the first deployer of Pump.tires, before Richard even announced Pump.tires, this guy had already created the initial 19 first meme coins. All the ones that I just showed you. All these. So if it's not Richard, it's somebody associated or closely related. Very interesting, right? And the appeal to authority is strong, guys. The appeal to authority is strong. Look what happened with Trump coin. Look what happened with Doge, Department of Government Efficiency coin. These memes that just follow popular people. It's an appeal to authority. It's one of the strongest human biases that we have. And if you guys don't know about Pulse Chain, right? In Pulse Chain, in the community, Richard Hart, especially with being not live streaming, he's only just tweeting and doing voice memos because of the SEC and the legal stuff. He's almost achieved this mythical status or this legendary creature status, and people hang on his every little word. I mean, look at this whole PDI conspiracy, right? People are just grasping at straws for every little thing that could be potentially Richard Hart related to PDI, right? So if you believe in the PDI narrative that Richard Hart's going to peg the copied version of DAI to $1, honestly, I find it much easier to believe that Richard Hart created some of these meme coins. But look, all these conspiracies are good. All these narratives, they're just storytelling. Okay, all these stories are going to get more people in. And now it's up to us to go broadcast this story to as many people as we can and tell them about all the opportunity. I mean, look at Most Token right now. 4,477x. Yep, that's right. 447,000% gain. If you bought in the first couple of candles, if you bought in the first hour. Look, maybe there's still some meat on the bone left. I don't know. I've already taken some profit, but hey, some people are saying it might go to $1. You got to admit, the liquidity is very low. The buy side liquidity is what matters for number go up, okay? Watch my previous videos if you don't understand this, but if you double the buy side liquidity, you 4x the price, meaning if another $800,000 came in, maybe let's call it another $1 million. All it would take is $1 million of buy pressure coming into this coin over the next couple days, and the price could go to $1. Or it might dump, or this might be the top. This video might be the top signal. I don't know, and neither does anybody else. So if this video is the top signal, or if it's just getting started and we got another 5x to go, that's on you. You click the buy button, you click the sell button. But look, people like to buy things after they've already gone up. And this coin's been absolutely killing it. And because everybody thinks it's Richard Hart's meme coin. Look, #1 trending. And I don't know, the lightning bolts. It's got it's got a fire emoji and a lightning bolt. Great. How cool is that? And look, this even puts Pulse Chain in the top 5 coins ranked by, transactions and volume, etc. The only people beating us, Solana, Base, Ethereum, Sui. Pulse Chain is now in the number 5 spot. It's beating everything else with real on-chain metrics, real volume. Remember, like $100 million of daily volume. Almost. And Pump.fun is just getting started. It's only ramping up. Imagine if $500 million comes in. Imagine what that would do to the price. And imagine all these liquidity pools that get burned, right? Every one of these Pump.tires copies, or JPEGs, when they get 200 million Pulse, and they graduate to PulseX, that 200 million Pulse gets locked in a liquidity pool, and locked means it's untouchable. It's essentially burned. The liquidity gets burned. So you've got now all these 200 million Pulse liquidity pools just sitting on PulseX. It's like for every 5 meme coins that make it to PulseX, that's 1 billion more Pulse. That's never going away ever. Just creating a higher and higher floor for PLS, creating more buy pressure for PLS. So Rome wasn't built in a day. You got to realize this thing is 3 days old. But wait until this starts ramping up. Give it some time. If you want to participate in the success of your own chain, it's not enough to just buy the coins and just talk about how you bought the coins. You also have to tell other people about the chain, right? You have to market it. And that's how all this stuff works. And let's be honest, nobody likes to delay gratification, even though this is what works. Even though, yes, I did just buy a huge bag of Hex, to be honest with you. That's just me, because I believe that long-term delay gratification will have amazing effects. I can see Hex going over $1. Nobody knows for sure, but I can see it happening. That'd be 100x. And that's with delayed gratification and staking and yield. But a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people get in for the degen behavior. A lot of people get in for meme coins flashing in front of their face all day long. And to those people, now you have a home. Now you don't have to leave Pulse Chain ever. You just keep putting your paycheck into Pump.tires. Again, I don't think that's a good way to live. But you're an adult. You're a full-grown adult. You can do whatever the heck you want. And if you're on Solana, get over here. Stop giving your money to one super rich guy. Get in join a more unsaturated market with more upwards price potential, guys. Solana, you'll be lucky if it goes to $800. And a lot of the hype on Pump Fun seems to be wearing off. We're even having a class action lawsuit on Pump.fun. Pump.tires is brand new. And look, a lot of people hate meme coins. I think they're pretty stupid. I think most of these are terribly stupid and a waste of time. But I realize that this is a strategy by Richard to get more money on chain, more fresh capital, pumping all these core coins, especially PLS. So that's really what's going on from a high level view. The faster you can adapt, the faster you can get through the cope phase and just adapt to the new reality, the more easier this is going to get, the more fun it's going to get. It should be fun, right? You don't have to talk about Pump.tires. I'm not going to use it, but I am going to shill it. Because I know that delayed gratification doesn't speak to a lot of people, even though it should. People should do what's best for them, but they still want, hookers and cocaine. So you can have both. You can play both sides of the field. You can start with the hookers and blow over here. And then once you realize that maybe there's a long-term hold worth holding, like multiple months and years, maybe you'll get a bag of Hex. Maybe you'll get a bag of PulseX. Wait till you find out about the buy and burn of PulseX. Wait till you find out about the scarcity of INC token. Wait till you find out about UFO token or whatever else. Some other narrative is going to catch your eye. And you're probably going to end up staying here longer than you thought. Right? That's what happens in crypto. People get sucked in. And so this is creating a black hole, an attention vortex. That's just sucking in liquidity, burning it. And look at Richard right here. Look at Richard in the background. This is exactly what he wants, guys. So we're going to see how this plays out. Exciting times. That's what's going on. Whether you like it or not, you don't have a choice. So cope with this, deal however you want to. Again, I bought Most token, partially a tribute to Richard Hart, partially because I believe it's his meme coin and he owns 80% of the supply. I believe that. Can't be proven, but I choose to believe that. And we know Richard likes to brag about coins that go up. What if he pumps this coin? See the market cap right here? Divide that by 5, because only 20% of the market cap is actually circulating. If you discount that 80%, remember, the 80% that Richard allegedly owns or bought up at the beginning, or Richard's dad or whoever it is. Look, guys, it's a new era. It's funny to me to see, all the liquidity getting sucked out of all the other, meme coins on chain. It's a culture casino, okay? It's one rotation to the next thing to the next thing. It's really hard to start a community of believers. You have that in Pulse Chain. You have that in core coins. You have that in certain meme coins. Not every meme coin. Certain meme coins have, critical virality or whatever. They've got a little bit of a community behind them. Most of these, 99.9%, are never going to go anywhere. But look, 0.01% are actually going to probably start somewhat of a movement. And here's another thing. Now this enables celebrities to get on board. Businesses. Look at all the celeb coins on Solana. Yes, are they all trash? Absolutely. They're all dog poop. But the celebrities do marketing for your chain, right? What if Paris Hilton drops a chain? What if Justin Bieber drops a meme coin on Pump.tires? Just the marketing value aspect of that alone. Doesn't mean you have to go buy it. Just because you see a lot of shiny things, you don't have to go buy them. There's a casino on the street corner. You don't have to walk in. A lot of the community in Pulse Chain has basically based their investing thesis off long-term holding delay gratification, which I agree with. So don't all of a sudden break your long-term thesis just because this thing is here, right? Just because this exists. It doesn't mean everything else that you've worked for goes out the window. Try to have a little fun. I like Most. I like Pump. I like Hex. I like PulseX. I like INC. And of course, I like PLS. And you need PLS to play, right? If you want to play the game, you got to buy PLS. All the liquidity is tied to PLS. This is the key right here. I hope that makes sense to you guys. You can create your own coin if you want. And click the Create New Coin button. And you guys can figure this out on your own. You don't need me to tell you how to create a coin. You add socials. You add a picture, description, ticker. That's all these coins are. You're just trading little moving images all day. Have fun with it. See you on the next video. Like, subscribe, and share, by the way. Help this go viral. Tell somebody. Tell a degen about Pump.tires. Because the more degen behavior, the more our core coins get bought and burned as well. See the bigger picture here. Don't get hung up in a state of cope. The Pulse Chain community is adaptable and resilient. See you on the next one.